can build a better team. Call 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt for more information.
Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
Are taking pride in outstanding performance. We are encouraging and recognizing innovation. We are committed to continuously doing things better, with enhanced services coming soon. Yes, we are here for you. Check us out today for your financial need. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
This is the GBN television news for Thursday, April 8th, 2021. I'm Trellona Charles. In the headlines tonight, workers in the tourism industry now mandated to take the COVID-19 vaccine. But Public Workers Union president says individuals' rights should be respected. The National Democratic Congress says government's problems are all because of a senseless vendetta. Grenada makes its international debut in para-swimming next week. St. Vincent records increase in volcano tectonic earthquakes. GBN's Health looks at foot and mouth disease as Health Minister confirms cases on island. In Around the Globe, St. Vincent's Prime Minister issues warning to teachers: vaccinate, test, or leave. And coming up in sports, shock defeat to two-time Under-19 champions Paradise FC in its first match in the National Under-19 Boys Tournament, while St. David defeats St. Patrick in the Right Start GCA Under-19 Cup. Details right after this message.
Get high making money moves with the NLA's new Aces High Scratch game with 4 chances to win. Beat the dealer's card to win the prize shown. Reveal an A symbol. And just like that, you are automatically a winner. Scratch away to win the top prize of $10,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. A question being asked by many employees of the tourism sector and the wider Grenadian public has been answered, as the president of the Hotel and Tourism Association, Leo Garbett, said that all workers in the sector must be vaccinated against COVID-19. More in this report.
President of the Grenada Hotel and Tourism Association, Leo Garbett, when asked during Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing if it is now a condition of employment for employees in the tourism sector to take the COVID-19 vaccine, said that is in fact the case. He said the decision was made to choose lives over livelihoods, and now that Grenada has been spared the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic, mandatory vaccination of persons in the tourism sector is now a policy designated by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell.
Going on to the position of whether our team members will be vaccinated, and if that's a condition of employment. Actually, it's a bit above that level because it's been designated by the Prime Minister. So it's policy. So therefore, anybody who works in the tourism sector has to be vaccinated.
Garbett said the GHTA also recommended to the government that anyone seeking to enter Grenada must also be vaccinated.
Our recommendation at the Hotel Association and Tourism Association is that anybody who comes to Grenada, they must be vaccinated. That way, we create an environment whereby, fortunately, there'll be health and safety at work. The people at the hotels will be vaccinated. Anybody who's coming to the hotels, delivery drivers, taxi drivers, tour operators, vendors, and so on, must be vaccinated before they come on to hotel sites.
As the number of vaccinated individuals remains lower than the Ministry of Health initially anticipated, Chairman of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Barry Collymore, while urging Grenadians to take the vaccine, said mandatory vaccination for tourism employees is nothing new.
People working in the industry have to get a range of vaccines and tests right now. Before COVID, they had to get them in 2019, 2018, 2017. They had to get that range of tests and vaccines in order to get the food handler certificate to be able to work. And without that, they can't work. So this is nothing new. It's just now that we have a new disease that has come upon us. We have the tools to fight it. And if we don't fight it, it's going to overtake us.
Government has also hinted that healthcare workers could soon be mandated to take the COVID-19 vaccine. As of Wednesday's COVID-19 dashboard, 10,570 people have received the first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine, while 4 have received the second dose. There are presently 2 imported active COVID-19 cases on island in isolation and 333 people in quarantine facilities.
President of the Public Workers Union, Brian Grimes, says the rights of human beings should not be contradicted. While understanding the need to protect one's health, he is adamant that people's rights should be respected. Vaccination, he says, is a very touchy issue. Details in this report.
As the COVID-19 pandemic sets in and approvals of vaccines are being flaunted as the answer to being an end eventually to the global pandemic, Grenada's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell assured the nation that vaccination will not be made mandatory. However, during recent announcements, he hinted that with a disappointing turnout for people willing to take the COVID-19 vaccine, AstraZeneca, especially within the health sector, the possibility of making the vaccine mandatory existed. In his address to the nation last Thursday, he reminded the nation that vaccination holds the key to any possible return to normal life. Pretty soon, the PM hinted workers at quarantine facilities will be approached to take the vaccine.
Here in Grenada, to help protect our frontline workers, all accommodation facilities providing quarantine for inbound travelers will be required to have all their staff vaccinated soon.
Many Grenadians remain skeptical about taking the vaccine for varying reasons. With more pressure being applied for people to take the injection and the possibility of having to choose between the vaccine and their job, President of the Public Workers Union, Brian Grimes, believes individuals' rights should be respected.
Vaccine situation is very sensitive. All of us have taken vaccines in our life, but what should never ever be negated is the right of the human being to say, I will or I will not. If we have abrogated those rights, we are entering dangerous territory. So it's something we in the movement, we are looking at carefully, even at the TUC level, and we'll observe as we go on. We understand the need for health, for the protection of the population, but sacrosanct is the right of the worker and the right of the human being to say, I will or I will not.
The PM added that some countries are already identifying vaccination as an entry requirement for visitors, as well as some airlines are making vaccination mandatory for travelers. And as the cruise industry prepares to sail again, some cruise lines are already outlining vaccination requirements for both passengers and crew. Christina John, GBN News.
The repurchase of the Grenlex shares by the government of Grenada continues to make headlines 3 months after the deal was sealed. Trade unions use it as a trump card in their ongoing struggle, and political pundits cite it as a sore point in the national discourse. Sherry Blackman-Stephen takes up that story.
The interim political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Adrian Thomas, says the government may not want to hear it, but the chickens have come home to roost long after his regime went after WRB like a pecking hen. Thomas says trade unions are justified to equate the government's repurchase of Grenlec with their continued demand for the wage increase, which was agreed to. He was disheartened by the Prime Minister's apparent anti-worker stance during his recent national address.
In the address, Prime Minister Mitchell exposed himself to be a ruler for the good times. His arrogant, chastising, disrespectful, and impatient tone exposed that he is unable to govern in a crisis or to think outside the box when challenged. Mitchell is only good for when things are good.
The NDC leader says it is unacceptable for the Prime Minister to look at workers in their faces and say to them he has no money to pay them.
He has found over $200 million to pay Grenlec judgment, which was a complete unnecessary debt. He has found a way to secure the loan of over $100 million for the airport. He has found over $30 million to spend on traffic lights that we don't need for now. He finds hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay advisors such as Mistress Alexandra Otwin-Noel, his son Olinga, and many other party hawks.
Thomas said government's haste to pay WRB was all about a senseless vendetta, coming back to bite two reckless men and the entire nation.
Brothers and sisters, the Prime Minister urged the union leaders to lead by example. The question is he taking his own advice? Why not lead by example in these challenging times by being truthful with our people? How about leading by example by stop hiring party hawks for thousands of dollars? How about leading by example by placing greater emphasis on agriculture and related sectors?
The NDC interim leader characterizes the actions of Prime Minister Mitchell as a classic divide and rule tactic of a dictator. Cherry and Blackman-Stephen, GBN News.
One man's comment has sparked a reaction from the Labour Minister, who also explained his position in the ongoing industrial action at the ACB Caribbean, formerly RBTT Bank. Details in this report.
During Wednesday's televised newscast, one customer of the now ACB Caribbean Bank was highly critical of Labour Minister Peter David, whom he believes is not being forceful enough on the bank's management in resolving the present dispute with employees.
The Honourable Minister of Labour has made it clear that this situation is not the same as when Scotiabank sold its assets and transferred its liabilities to Republic Bank. Now, if the minister knows that the situation is not the same, it appears to me that the minister has the legal authority, all attempts at mediation having failed, to mandate the appointment of an arbitrator, the award of which will be binding on both parties according to the collective bargaining agreement, which since 1999 under the Industrial Relations Act has the force of law. It is binding on both parties, and it is time that the minister does what he is supposed to do.
The minister responded saying that mandatory arbitration cannot be applied in this case.
Comments made by some commentators, one in particular, who is saying that the law does give me the power to force arbitration. If the person would actually read the law properly, they would recognize that as Ministry of Labor and as Minister of Labor, we only have the right to enforce mandatory arbitration in the case of essential services. So if this was a matter touching and concerning an essential service, a dispute in an essential service like Grenlec or Nawasa, yes, we can have a forced arbitration. We can say to the parties, go to arbitration, and we can also say that this arbitration is compulsory and they must go abide by the arbitrator's ruling. In the case of non-essential services, as in this case, if the person making the comments would actually read the law that he or she is quoting, they would realize that I do not have the right to do that. In fact, arbitration is on the table, but it takes both parties to agree to the arbitration. And in this case, both parties have not agreed to arbitration. So there is no way I can enforce it. There's no way the law gives me that power to enforce it. So
Minister David says at the moment the Ministry of Labour is engaged in mediation efforts, hoping that at some point they can come to some sort of conclusion. His role is quite specific at this juncture, and according to him, there is nothing more he can do at this point.
My role as a mediator, as arbitrator at this level, not official arbitration, but certainly to try to bring the parties together to resolve the problem. And I do hope that we can do that. If we are not able to do that, then the parties will decide where it goes next, either to the court or to any other body that they feel that they can go to. But certainly, I do not have the power under the law to force any kind of arbitration and to ask both of the parties to go to arbitration. That is not a power given to me. And any person reading the law would recognize that quite early in doing so.
Christina John, GBN News.
Grenada makes its international debut in para swimming in Louisville, Texas from April 15th to 17th with the participation of former Anglican high school student Naye Cruikshank in the World Para Swimming World Series at the LISD Westside Aquatic Center. Jared Joseph has the details.
It is another untold story that is jumping off the canvas, this time in the sport of swimming, as history is again being created in Grenada. The story of Ishana Charles is on its way to becoming well known, and she is now joined by a female para-athlete swimmer. With a huge captivating smile, 20-year-old Naye Cruikshank says she is delighted to fulfill one of her childhood dreams, competing in an international swim meet.
I'm very thankful for the opportunity. It's been years and years. I've always wanted to do this, and finally I am here. And I want to thank Coach Natalie and Coach Charles and everybody that put the work in to get me to where I am today.
She says as a 7-year-old, she remembered losing her left leg as a result of cancer, and swimming became a passion.
When I lost my leg to cancer, I didn't want to be treated any different. So I didn't really care what anybody said, and I just did it because I wanted to, and I could do it.
In Louisville, Naye will participate in the classification events, which will determine the category of events she is eligible to compete in, while competing alongside athletes with similar disabilities. Following the classification, Cruikshank will compete in the freestyle, butterfly, and possible 400 meters events. The championship brings together leading swimmers in the USA and other countries who are endeavoring to classify and meet the standards for qualification in the Summer Paralympic Games in Tokyo, Japan in August and September. Impressing on how strongly Naye is supported by her family, President of the Grenada Paralympics Committee, Ray Roberts, says it is a historical moment as they venture into a new era of parasports in Grenada.
We are now venturing into a second phase with our swimmer, Naye Cruikshank. And I want to place on record our sincere gratitude to Naye's parents, in particular her grandparents.
Coach Natalie Regis says Naye is ready for the challenge despite the COVID-19 pandemic restrictions and protocols that limited her preparations.
I would say training with Naye, I have to say with Naye, because sometimes I do jump in the pool with her because she's such an inspiration, not just for me on deck with her, but all the other coaches who have worked with her in the past. Everyone she meets, everyone who encounters Naye, they're always curious and asking, how is this child and able to do all of this. And it is an inspiration, and I hope that everyone else who sees what she does over the next few days is inspired with her, just her entire bubbly personality, her never ever give up approach towards her training has been an inspiration for me.
Although Grenada has participated in the Summer Olympics beginning in the 1984 Games in Los Angeles, it is yet to debut in the Paralympics, which follow the Summer Olympic Games. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
At 7. Coming up, the Caribbean island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is now on red alert as La Soufrière could erupt in hours or days. Stay with us.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec, we are united even when we are apart.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
Ridgeway Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable, and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
The others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back. An evacuation order has been given as La Soufrière could erupt in hours or days. The Caribbean island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is now on red alert, and an evacuation order has been given as the La Soufrière volcano shows signs of an imminent eruption. The island's Prime Minister, Ralph Gonsalves, made the announcement on Thursday afternoon in Kingstown.
Acting on the advice of the Director of the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, and pursuant to Sections 33 and 40 of the National Emergency and Disaster Management Act, Chapter 88 of the Laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I hereby order as follows. 1. The evacuation of all premises in the areas designated as the red zone on the northeast and northwest of St. Vincent, and the evacuation of the area itself. So an evacuation of the premises in the red zone on the northeast and the northwest, and evacuation of the areas themselves. And 2, the exclusion of persons, vessels, or vehicles from such premises and areas, save and except for the purpose of effecting the said evacuation. This order would be published tomorrow, but it has effect immediately.
At a press conference earlier today, geologist Richard Robertson said signals show La Soufrière could erupt in a matter of hours or days. In a UE seismic YouTube update earlier this week, Robertson said that La Soufrière has been displaying signs of unhappiness, and all indications were pointing to a possible eruption. A swarm of volcanic tectonic events was felt by residents in the community of the danger zone in St. Vincent from the La Soufrière volcano. It is reported that it has stopped. However, lead scientist Dr. Richard Robertson said they continue to monitor the events. We get more in this report.
There were at least 50 volcanic tectonic earthquakes recorded per hour on Monday, with the highest at a magnitude of 3.9. These events, which started at around 6:30 a.m., slowed down at about 2 p.m. Dr. Robertson told SVG TV News via telephone interview that the activities have slowed down significantly.
Died away, and mainly the storm ended, but the VT earthquake, we're still having a few of them, but the storm that we had ended something around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and since then we've gone back into mainly having those events associated with dome growth, these dome replacement events, we call them, with 1 or 2 VTs every now and then. But things are sort of back into that frame in between the VT storms, so that's the current state of things.
The lead scientist said that the effusive eruption continues as the new lava dome continues to grow. Dr. Robertson says residents in the danger zones need to remain on heightened alert, as another swarm of events is likely to happen again, with the unknown of what will happen next.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. And some of them are big enough to be felt. I understand that they would have been very concerned because they were feeling that thing. That's what you have when I would have been erupting, unfortunately. So there'll probably be moments in the future when the VT swarms return and you'll feel us fix again. The VT swarms just indicate that something is trying to come through. It might at some point, and it might in doing so cause the volcano to go into explosive activity. That is always possible. So we just need to remain vigilant, make sure that we stay prepared and be ready to respond as necessary if something goes from what it's doing now to something more dangerous.
In light of the earth movements, residents in the red zone of the volcano went into another panic mode, with some fleeing their homes. A resident of Fancy told SVG TV News via telephone interview that she, along with others, left the village and that they have already taken some clothing to Caliacor, which is considered to be in the safe zone.
Oh, my heart go boop. But if maybe her heart problem, I might have taken with her, that I also shake. Me say, oh my God, right? So me say, oh my God. And then me tell me say another one come again, you know. Me think twice. Me think for go out the house or stay in the house. A lot of people roll out yesterday. They carried on. The trucks went down with stuff. Van went down with stuff.
The resident said that the police and other disaster response teams were in the community talking with residents. North Leeward residents also felt the earthquakes for the first time since the effusive eruption started late in December.
Meanwhile, the government of Grenada is reiterating its support for the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines as they face an increased likelihood of an eruption of the La Soufrière volcano. A statement issued by the Government Information Service indicates that Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell spoke to his Vincentian colleague, Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, assuring him that the government and people of Grenada stand in full solidarity with their brothers and sisters in St. Vincent. Dr. Mitchell reaffirmed the country's pledge of 1,600 beds at St. George's University to accommodate persons who may need to be evacuated. This pledge was initially made in December last year, following an emergency meeting of OECS leaders. The Prime Minister has since spoken to the Chancellor at SGU, who assured him that all systems will be put in place to quickly accommodate evacuees should the need arise. Other pledges of support have been made to the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but we continue to hope that they are spared an explosive eruption of the La Soufrière volcano. The Royal Grenada Police Force is sounding an alarm about what has become a common practice among young people, consuming alcohol. More in this, Christelina John reports.
The police force is pointing to a worrying trend of alcohol consumption among young people. Organized bus tours since COVID lockdown have brought out many young people exploring some of the island's popular visitor attraction sites. Superintendent of Police heading the Community Relations Department, Vanny Kerwin, says this is an emerging challenge for law enforcement.
Of notice to us is the fact that the behavior that we are seeing is different than the behavior that we are accustomed to. Alcohol, for these people, the way they handle it is different than what we have seen in the past. There's a lot of wild behavior that is not common to our young people in Grenada, and that is concerning us. Some of these buses have young children on them, and you can clearly see that they are minors that travel on these bus trips, and they stop in different parts of the island and engage in behaviors that are unbecoming, and in most parts, some of them are illegal. And so over the particular weekend, this Easter weekend, I know this challenge has surfaced, and one or two of these buses were dealt with, and a number of the behaviors were also dealt with.
Alcohol consumption, once judgment is affected, and violence sometimes results from simple misunderstandings. The superintendent says on some occasions, the presence of law enforcement was required. The officer, not wanting to bash parents for some of the behaviors exhibited, reminds parents of their responsibility.
As a parent, you have an obligation. Far too often, parents leave the parenting of the children to law enforcement or to teachers. And some parents sit in the back and expect the teachers to parent the children and the police to parent the children. But it starts at home. You, at least as a parent, should know where your son or daughter is on any given time, particularly if they are minors, and we have seen a few minors in some of these bus trips. And so you should know where your kids are. You should authorize or approve the outing. And for some reason, if you do not know where they're going initially, I'm sure Grenada is small, and at some point you will get to know that they were on a particular bus trip. And as a parent, your parenting skills need to kick in. Accountability needs to kick in.
Alcohol is viewed as one of Grenada's biggest challenges as per substance use and abuse. Alcohol consumption can lead to complications in the human body and can contribute to cardiovascular diseases. It can also contribute to cancers of the throat, stomach, mouth, as well as challenges with kidneys and liver, among others. It ranks high on the WHO's list of countries in the world and first in the region in alcohol consumption. Christelina John, GBN News.
Hand, foot, and mouth disease is usually a minor illness causing only a few days of fever and relatively mild signs and symptoms. In today's GBN Health, we tell you what to look for if you suspect your child is infected, as the health minister confirms cases of the disease on the island.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grandans, Victoria Street, Granville, and Central Deputy Street, Wall. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
Health Minister Nicholas Steele has confirmed recorded cases of the hand, foot and mouth disease on the island.
Just before the Easter break, we had a total of 4 or 5 cases of foot and mouth on 2 different schools. Those schools were closed immediately. They're preschools, which is where we see foot and mouth showing up seasonally almost every year. So they were closed out of precaution, would be sanitized, etc., before they're allowed to reopen.
Symptoms of the hand, foot and mouth disease usually include fever, mouth sores, and skin rashes commonly found on the hands, mouth, and or feet. He says the practice of proper hygiene is key to preventing this disease.
Foot and mouth shows up almost every year with kids under the age of 5. It's transmitted from hand going to mouth, etc., and so picking up stuff, putting it in your mouth. And once we pick it up, we close the institution, have it sanitized, etc., and it goes away. We wouldn't be seeing it now in most of our other places because everybody's supposed to be practicing the COVID protocols, which are the regular sanitizing of hands. But with the younger kids, age up to 5 and under, it's very difficult to have them follow that. So that's why we're seeing it reappear again this year as it does every year.
According to the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, the hand, foot and mouth disease is common in infants and children younger than 5 years old. It is characterized by sores in the mouth and a rash on the hands and feet. The hand, foot and mouth disease is commonly caused by a Coxsackie virus. The usual period from initial infection to the onset of signs and symptoms, or the incubation period, is 3 to 6 days. A fever is often the first sign of the hand, foot and mouth disease, followed by a sore throat and sometimes poor appetite and unwell feeling. 1 or 2 days after the fever begins, painful sores may develop in the front of the mouth or throat. A rash on the hands and feet and possibly on the buttocks can follow within 1 or 2 days. There is no specific treatment for hand, foot and mouth disease. Frequent hand washing and avoiding close contact with people who are infected may help reduce your child's risk of infection. For GBN Health, Janelle McDonald.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Let's take a look around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience.
It has alarmed me that the authorities, those with the decision-making power, have not seen it fit to find a suitable Grenadian to fill the role. And there must be in our midst, whether here at home or in the Grenadian diaspora, competent and able Grenadians who could execute that function successfully.
Does nationality matter to head a tourism organization, or should one's qualifications and skill sets speak for themselves? Tonight we listen to the opinions of our online and listening audience as they discuss the recent appointment of the 3rd successive non-Grenadian CEO of the Grenada Tourism Authority.
I can't tell you we have skilled people in Grenada because we maybe don't have the ability to practice our skills.
This administration have once again shown the blatant disregard for our citizens. I'm 100% sure we have competent, qualified people here to do it, but our people don't deserve a good job in their own country. Shame, shame, shame. Grenadians down pressed once more.
Come on, young people of Mali, and stand up for what is right. And you deserve to hold a big post in this country too.
It is high time we stop limiting our mentality from Grenadian to Caribbean. If the individual is best fitted, then so be it.
I am not against any foreigners holding jobs in Grenada. My thing is that we should be getting the Grenadians qualified enough to hold those positions.
Nationality matters. Does the person know Grenada? Nationality matters. It's a strategic move, but I am sure she is giving up her present job in Barbados because the deal was a very good one. So this once again shows that our government does not like its own. Imagine working 5 years on frontline in a bank. A supervisory position opens and you apply, but your manager appoints someone from outside the bank. How would the frontline staff feel? We might as well start getting Venezuelans to play football for us. Pure Grenada with a Bajan accent. What a shame.
We ought to had over the last 20-25 years with the sitting of this Prime Minister should have been training our local Grenadian people for the positions that are available in this country.
If Grenadians at home are not qualified for the jobs we have, what are we doing to prepare our people for real employment other than the Imani, Wardens, Debushas, and others?
And who is best to represent Grenada and pure Grenada than a Grenadian, talking Grenadian, promoting Grenadian, reflecting the Grenadian way of life? And I am not disappointed because I expect anything under this administration.
That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. If you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
From the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through the GBN eyesore lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN eyesore is brought to you by ClearVision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. ClearVision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ClearVision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
McIntosh from Hermitage St. Patrick is the proud owner of tonight's eyesore submission, a sugarcane that measures about 15 feet long. No stranger to sugarcane as he sells cane juice, he said he became very excited on seeing it, so he didn't even juice this one. It's extra long and hopefully extra sweet. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Still ahead, Cabinet approves option to address Molyneux land slippage. This is news at 7.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Wacky Virtual Bingo! And the next one's going down on Sunday, April 11th from 6 p.m. Don't believe me? Get a ticket and try it. This time, you can win US $10,000. $10,000! Remember, if you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. Tickets are only $10 US. And for persons playing for the first time, a special discount price awaits you in Grenada. Tickets are available at gotofed.com and from numerous box offices island-wide or at our main office on Grove Street Mall. If you're overseas, then tickets are only available at gotofed.com. This is the big one, and it's going down Sunday, April 11th. Join all the fun and excitement online. Play Wacky Virtual Bingo. It's the new way to play. Bingo.
There are those who say they care, and then there is Jediah's Pharmacy, conveniently located at the front entrance of the Grove Street Mall, right next to a Riser Credit Union. We offer premium quality products and services, and when you need us, we are there, offering you around-the-clock service, Mondays to Fridays, 7:30 to 7 p.m., Saturdays, 9 until 7 p.m., and Sundays, 10 until 2. At Jediah's Pharmacy, we show care with a beautiful smile. Call us today at 440-5342. The number again, 440-5342. Jediah's Pharmacy, affordable and totally dependable.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
Welcome back. Cabinet has approved an option for responding to the slippage at Molyneux St. George, and other areas along the West Coast with similar challenges were brought into focus. Minister for Infrastructure, Nolan Cox, addressed the media on Tuesday.
The entire project from the Kirani James to St. Mark's will see slope stabilization works throughout wherever there are movements or slope that have integrity or pose some risk. There are going to be slope stabilization works. So the final designs will have all these remedial works. The engineer, the consulting firm, is to check every aspect of that entire road network and to ensure that the response and the designs address every challenge, every risk along that 26-kilometer road. So that is what is going to happen.
Minister Cox spoke about the possible cause of the slippage in the area.
Areas, especially on the Cherry area, is gravel, and that is one of the main reasons why we had that slippage at Molyneux, is as a result of a gravel that was embedded on a hard rock area, and with continuous rainfall and other seismic activity as well. That is what attributed to that slippage. So that is what is happening. So the works in terms of what will take place, it is a permanent solution based on the geotechnical findings and the response in terms of the designs that is going to be applied to ensure that we resolve this matter in a permanent nature.
Stay with us. Sports is up next.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again. At
Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
It takes a village
to raise our children
into productive citizens
and progressive communities.
It takes a village
to provide support to our young people
who are going down the wrong path
and need family and community support.
It takes a village
to help our children who have made a mistake,
to take responsibility
and learn from their mistakes.
It takes a village
to actively help in the rehabilitation of our youth,
to assist them in being productive,
to reintegrate back into our communities.
It takes a village
to care about each other,
to lift up our children
and make them into better adults.
It takes a village to give our youths
a chance for change. Join the movement
and give our children a chance for change.
This message is brought to you by the USAID OECS Juvenile Justice Reform Project 2, funded by the United States Agency for International Development. For more information, log on to oecs.org/JJRP.
Keeping an eye on the weather, this is GBN. We've got you covered. The weather for tonight and the next 3 days. Tonight's minimum temperature 24.5 degrees Celsius. Partly cloudy and hazy with light, brief showers. Wind east-northeasterly to east-southeasterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Seas slight to moderate, waves 3 to 5 feet in open water. Tides low at 7 p.m., high at 1 a.m. On Friday, sunrise at 6 a.m., sunset at 6:19 p.m. The weather is expected to be mostly fair and hazy, becoming partly cloudy at times, with a chance of brief showers mainly during the night. On Saturday, sunrise at 5:59 a.m., sunset at 6:19 p.m. Partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy, with light to moderate showers becoming more frequent overnight. On Sunday, sunrise at 5:59 a.m., sunset 6:19 p.m. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy, with light to moderate showers. Good evening, sporting fans. Combined Northerners, Happy Hill FC and Hard Rock FC were among winners in the National Under-19 Boys Tournament from matches held on Tuesday. Combined Northerners defeated Bellevue Rangers 9-2, while Happy Hill FC edged out RGPF St. Forces in a 4-3 encounter. Defending champions Paradise FC received a 3-0 beating at the hands of St. John Sports, and the goals from Jamil Rocastle and Jonathan Hilaire led Hard Rock FC to a 2-0 victory over North Stars. Moving on, the head coach of the Spice Boys, Michael Findlay, says he has been impressed by all the players who recently competed in the first 2 matches of the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. He was responding to questions as to who are some of the players that stood out during the 2 encounters.
Well, it's always an interesting question, and I'm not trying to dodge it. But I have to say I've been very pleased with the entire group. That's what international football and building a team is that you don't necessarily build it around one individual, because then that individual will be targeted by an opponent in terms of tactical play. And we need to more look at how we play the game as a team. And I think what has impressed me has been just their interest in wanting to get better.
Coach Finlay says since taking up the position in February, he has been impressed with the local players selected.
But overall, I'd like to say that I've been impressed with the team that we've put together on island here. It's a very early part of our process. This is a long-term plan. The president and the GFA has made it very clear that, we're not in a sprint right now. We're in a marathon, and we want to be able to build slowly towards ultimately building the game, and that we are going to be competitive in the top 10 of CONCACAF.
Moving on to cricket, St. David defeated St. Patrick by 9 wickets in the match 4 of the Right Start GCA Under-19 Cup on Wednesday. St. Patrick was bowled out for 99 in 30.1 overs, despite contributions from Geo Max Wildman with 34 runs as Kurt Murray cut through the batting order of St. Patrick, capturing 4 wickets for just 16 runs. Teddy Bishop, who also took 2 wickets for 6 runs, then dominated with the bat, smashing 55 not out as St. David comfortably reached 100, losing just 1 wicket in just 14.3 overs. St. Mark on Tuesday registered another close victory in the Right Start GCA Under-19 Cup. They won by a 1-wicket margin for the second time in 2 games, this time over St. Andrew in match 3 of the tournament. That's it for sports. Up next, Around the Globe. Tonight, we take a probe around the globe to see what's happening. Growing concern and anxiety on the proposed vaccination policy settled by the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The heads of the trade unions, which include Public Workers Union, the Teachers Union, and the Police Welfare Association, together with their lawyers, held a joint press conference.
The policy set out by the government, that very policy, we have serious objections to it. And as such, public servants must stand whether take a vaccine or whether they wish to be tested. It is their choice, and it must not be dictated to them.
We believe that whilst it is necessary that all are safe, such a policy must not infringe on the basic human rights of workers to be forced either to be vaccinated or to be tested every 2 weeks. This policy fails to take the interests of the workers into consideration.
And we will take all and every advice and with the proper guidance from our membership to do everything that is necessary legally and within the confines of our trade union mechanism to stand tall and firm in defending our fundamental rights and freedom.
Lawyers Zita Barnwell and Joel Thomas representing the Public Service and Teachers Unions and Israel Bruce representing the Police Welfare Association also sought to quell any fears that members may have as it relates to the consequences of not taking the vaccine and not agreeing to being tested. The consensus they shared is that it is still an individual's right to choose whether or not to be vaccinated or tested.
We have heard that you can't just give a reason. You have to have some high, strong reason as to why you don't want to take a vaccine. That is not the law. Someone's right to conscience could be as basic and simple as saying, I don't feel that I want an invasive procedure that is untested and unproven.
On both issues, whether it has to do with the vaccine or testing at this time, as we are speaking about it, is that it's not mandatory. There's no piece of legislation that says it's mandatory.
Now, the Police Welfare Association is the entity which I have direct responsibility for. The police force is a military organization, and invariably, military organizations they tend to be subject to certain protocols that are not within the normal frame at times of the public service. That being the case, though, does not mean that there should be any sets of mandatory provisions, statutory rules and orders or the likes that are inconsistent with the Constitution of St. Vincent.
That's it for Around the Globe. Stay with us for a recap of tonight's top stories. Now to recap tonight's headlines, workers in the tourism industry now mandated to take the COVID-19 vaccine, but Public Workers Union president says individuals' rights should be respected. The National Democratic Congress says government's problems are all because of a senseless vendetta. Grenada makes its international debut in para-swimming next week. St. Vincent receives evacuation order as La Soufrière could erupt in hours or days. GBN's Health looks at foot and mouth disease as Health Minister confirms cases on island. In Around the Globe, St. Vincent's Prime Minister issues warning to teachers: vaccinate, test, or leave. And in sports, shock defeat to two-time Under-19 champions Paradise FC in its first match in the National Under-19 Boys Tournament, while St. David defeats St. Patrick in the Right Start GCA Under-19 Cup. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Trellona Charles. That's the news. We'll see you again. Good night.